Long before memory, before a story, they walked. Not men, not yet. But something that would remember how to be. The world was warmer then. Africa was a cradle of storms and green valleys. Volcanoes spat ash that turned rivers to silver and soil to glass. And in that restless land, the first wanderers stood upright. It wasn't triumph, it was necessity. To see above the grass was to see danger and opportunity. The ground was both home and enemy. Every step meant exposure. They lived between the trees and the plains, a no-man's land of predators. Leopards above, lions ahead, crocodiles below. Survival was a question of timing, of reading wind, of silence. But standing meant distance, distance meant tools, and tools would change everything. The first tools were not invented. They were discovered by accident. A sharp edge, a broken flake, a cleaner meal. Each strike of stone against stone left memory in the hand. A habit became an idea became inheritance. With every broken rock, the species was remaking itself. Fingers teaching brains what shape survival had. These were the children of stone, carving the alphabet of technology before language was born. They were not hunters yet, scavengers, thieves, opportunists, but every stolen meal was a lesson in courage. They learned to wait until the thunder had passed, until the flames had cooled, to find warmth where lightning had fallen. They did not tame fire, not yet, but they learned to sit near it, to fear it less. The world was teaching them curiosity through hunger. Alone, they were prey. Together, they were possibility. Bonds were older than speech, built from gesture, glance, touch. A hand that cleaned another's fur. A warning cry that saved the young. In those small acts, empathy evolved. The tribe was the first invention, the first tool no stone could match. Within it, safety, within safety, imagination. Over millions of years, their minds grew with their hands. A little more brain, a little less bone. Memory lengthened, so did planning and fear. They began to understand not just what happened, but why. The seeds of thought were sown not in comfort, but in uncertainty. To wonder is to survive longer. Their world ran on blood and silence. They learned to follow vultures instead of trails, to watch wind direction. They could not outfight predators, so they outweighted them. Patience became intelligence, and from the patience of scavengers, the cunning of hunters would grow. They could not name the stars, but they watched them. Some say awareness began when we first looked up and hesitated. In that hesitation between instinct and understanding, consciousness stirred. The earth was waking through them, and they, the small walkers of Africa, were dreaming the first human dream. What else might be possible? Millions of years later, their bones would rise again, called fossils now. But each mark and stone still carries warmth, purpose, and risk. Their echoes live in every hand that builds, every spark that burns. They were not the first humans. They were the first to imagine becoming human. The story of humanity begins here, with a spark, a stone, and a step forward. And though their voices are lost, The ground remembers every footfall. The earth remembers.